me and Dale, you've been talking about the Book of Enoch for.
Yeah.
How much do you know about that?
I just read stuff. Of course, follow a lot of stuff on TikTok, and a lot of the reason. But the Book of Enoch was removed for, supposedly because it's talking about the Nephilim, the giants that walked the earth. I keep trying to find a reason. One guy said this was a theory that the Book of Enoch was removed because it described Jesus as being of African descent. So I asked a preacher that, and he said that wasn't a reason. He said it was more of a historical perspective, so they pulled it out. I said, so how can you pull out the son of Cain, right, and the great-grandfather of Noah? If Enoch don't exist, they don't exist.
Exactly.
True, yeah.
How do you pull that out of there? That don't make sense to me, guys. If you pull Julius H. Lyles out of my family tree, none of us exist. So you telling me the son of Cain, Cain, Abel, and Seth came later?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they don't exist? That don't make sense. But if you read the Book of Enoch, guys, and I ordered it off of TikTok and read it, and I'm like, I can see why they didn't want nobody knowing about this. He discusses the portals and the wind directions, and there was 200 angels cast out of heaven. 19 was buried under the Euphrates River as punishment, right, because they were breeding with the women of earth. And they were teaching people of earth how to make metal weapons and jewelry and giving them knowledge. And he punished them and told them to flood the earth, the deluge. All that's in there. How can you discourage that or discredit it without taking out, Cain's got to go. If you take Enoch out, Noah's got to go because he don't exist without his great-granddaddy.
Enoch, yeah.
If you read it and, make your own opinion, they say a lot of that's mythology. The devil was cast out because he had too much pride, kicked him.
Like the Baptist preacher.
Baptist preacher. Yeah. You reckon those preachers are being prideful when they get removed or not, sticking to the gospel like they're supposed to do instead of worrying about 10%?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the difference, though, because, as me or as a person, as a human, you can't be perfect. So they're definitely prideful.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
So what is your interpretation of that, Enoch?
I don't know a whole lot about it. I've never read it. I do think it's very interesting because if you look at some of the stories in the Book of Enoch, and then you look around, I found out if you look around, all these different cultures in the world back in the day when there was no sending a text message or an email from Mexico to, East Asia, but they all have these depictions of giants and all of their work, and then you also have pretty much every culture has some sort of story about some guy having a boat and sailing across the world in a massive flood. So,
yeah,
I believe it.
But
for
look,
sure.
there's so much out there, right? They said the British Museum has these Sumerian tablets, the emerald tablets. You've heard this, right? In the British Museum, UCLA College has got them where you can interpret. It'll do an online interpretation if you stand there and watch them. So the Epic of Gilgamesh, you've heard of that? Mm-hmm. That is the story of Noah's Ark, told 3,000 years before Noah. And where? In the Sumerian text. So it's like they rewrote it for today's time. And wait a minute, let's take Enoch out of here.
They rewrote it for
modern times?
Their benefit, more or less.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're going to take out these few points that might send people thinking, because a lot of people's just, yep, okay.
And Gilgamesh is probably a little more harder to pronounce than Noah.
Yeah.
True.
And it says in there in the Book of Enoch describing Noah, he was an albino, right? Mm-hmm. White hair and blue eyes. And they thought that he was part of the Anunnaki, bloodline when they started, multicultural creatures. And it speaks about that in the Book of Enoch, that they were multicultural creatures that visited the earth. Because look, I've worked construction my whole life, been around equipment, and they can't pick up them pyramid stones right now with equipment.
No, you couldn't.
No, absolutely not.
So, and you're out there doing it with sandals and a robe? It ain't happening.
And some tree
It ain't happening. And here's another one. I'm a big arrowhead collector, right? I love Native American history. So the same time all this history was going on in the cradle of life, right, in Africa, the Nile, the Euphrates, all this, and they're building this, and they got gold, engravings, gold, whatever. society tells us that 3,000 years or 20,000 years BC before Christ that you're finding paleo arrowheads, a Cumberland or a Clovis, right, which is the first weapons of man on our side, and all they were doing was grunting, couldn't talk, no language. But over here on this side of the world, they're building, sarcophagus with guys buried in it and mummified and gold everywhere. The Sphinx is 40 foot high.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Something ain't right. But, you have to just read that stuff, and it's supposed to be mythology, so, they make movies about Wonder Woman and Hercules and Thor and Odin's son, and, yeah.
It's
just so interesting. It's intriguing to like.
The book is not that long, and I'm telling you, just read it for your own knowledge because, like I said, and it's not trying to dispute nothing, but if Enoch is removed, how is Cain still there and how is Noah still there?
It's a broken.
The lineage is not right.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have secretariat without man of war, right?
So who are they, if they're trying to remove the book of Enoch, who are they saying wrote the book? Or do they even know? Or they just think it's a story?
They don't know. Is it fabled, all of it? That the giants, the Nephilim giants, stood 18 foot high and was breeding with women? That would be a sight in itself, wouldn't it? But the babies, the offspring of that created was that Nephilim, right? He said that was what they were purging the, world, the deluge, the great deluge. Pre-deluge or post-deluge. They didn't call it a flood. It's deluge in the book.
Deluge.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely interesting. I just don't know if, back then, why would all of these civilizations and cultures just make up the idea of there's giants around here?
And they all match
if there's
up.
not,
And they all match up. That's the thing. Like,
is it Myers Cave in Utah? Was that one? What was it, Myers? What do we call that? That looking for Indian artifacts, and they walked up on the two giants in a casket. One was 18 foot, and the woman was 12 foot.
Yeah.
Myers Cave, wasn't it?
Let me see.
I sent it to him later, but they dug it up, and the Smithsonian, the Smithson family, got it, took it, and you'll never be seen again. Yeah, the Kandahar giant. I was telling Matthew coming over here. The Navy SEAL teams fought in Afghanistan. You seen that story? Google that one on Facebook. Red-headed giant, 16 foot high. They killed him and flew him out of there.
You sent me something on the Back Creek stone. That's in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's in Tennessee. Yeah. That was some more inscribed stuff that was dug up. They can't explain.
No, that was a tablet in Hebrew back when they dated it back
found in Cook Creek, Tennessee.
Yeah, when the Indians was here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot. I mean, there's always going to be a lot of history that nobody's going to know about, because I don't think, if you hear about the scientists, humans have only roughly been here for I want to say it's 6,000 or 7,000 years. It's not long.
Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, there's.
So where did the pyramids come from if they were built 20,000 years BC?
Yeah. Well, they're saying it's they only date them back, a couple thousand years ago.
Yeah.
If you read the history books they teach you in school, there's just no way. Them things are.
Alabama. We had, everybody in general, Alabama history. Matthew remembers this. We had 4 tribes of Indians, right? Choctaw, Cherokee, Chickasaw, Crow, but they were all in 4 spots, right? Yeah. So you look at the dates that what they say these things were from anywhere from Mississippian period to Paleo, right? Paleo's 10 to 20,000, archaic. And then compare it to the dates and timelines what was going on in Egypt. So you telling me if we swim across the water, are they smarter than we are? We walk around with a club and an arrowhead on the end of it.
Yeah.
Bat, deer. You know what? And they're floating around in boats and elephants trained to pull blocks and doing it with sandals on.
5,000 miles away.
Yeah, 5,000 miles away. Engraving stone and making chambers and something. Come on. What's wrong with that picture?
I think that
they make
I think
canoes
the
over
South.
here.
It's the South. That's why they make fun of the South.
Yeah.
They had to, right? So Indian Geronimo would make a canoe that hold 3 braves, and they're over there making ships.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Trailer parks over here.
Think about that. What do they want us to believe here? Yeah, we sailed seven seas with rationing, had enough food and forethought to put food and weapons and supplies on there, and then we got nothing on this side over here. Smallpox blankets. I don't know.
Have you ever seen what is the Mayflower and all that? Have you ever been?
Yeah,
they had
small,
it,
ain't it?
Yeah, they had it over there in Gunnersville. We was over
The
there.
replica,
That thing is not.
Yeah.
Come on
Ain't
now.
no
You
way.
had all
They-
that on there?
Yeah, they're saying that was the actual size, right? So
They
what-
said it's the actual size.
Yeah.
Like,
the Queen was moving gold back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't trust.
I've seen that boat.
I've been on
It
some
was-
sketchy duck boats, and I wouldn't be on that one.
yeah. Think about that.
No.
There was none of those boats on this continent at that time.
I'm fully convinced the the pyramids was there before the Egyptian pyramid or the period,
Oh, yeah.
because if you look at their text, there's not one depiction of them building the pyramids. There's not any documentation that they done that, and that's supposed to be the greatest feat that man's ever done. It's going to be documented somewhere, I would think.
So why? Here's another way to look at that. So why were they called the seventh wonders of the world?
Mm-hmm.
The three pyramids of Giza, right? So why was the other pyramids not recognized? The Aztecs,
Yeah, because there's
think about this: the Bermuda Triangle's a pyramid underwater. The North Pole, Antarctica, there were pyramids all over the world, but those, because they were the cradle of life. What was the reason for that? That's ones we'll make them. We'll talk about these. We're not going to talk about the rest of them.
yeah.
I don't know, but there's definitely more of them.
Try to guide everybody over here. Let's just all go this way.
Yeah.